Commander Replay. If it bleeds, we can kill it, as we check out some red-black suicide aggro with Greven Predator Captain. Will our opponents have time to get to the chopper? Find out next on Commander Replay. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, or if you're just looking to get some high-quality games of NTGO, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Today's deck list comes as voted on by Patreon supporters, with Greven edging out the competition with 32% of the vote. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Greven Predator Captain today, and we are playing some red-black suicide aggro. This deck should be super fast. Have a lot of ramp in the deck. I didn't go so far as to put like Chrome Moxes and that type of stuff in the deck. That probably brings it to a whole nother level of fast. But still, yeah, we're running a lot of mana ramp. Our job is to get Greven in as fast as we can and start swinging away. We do have a Thought Vessel, which should speed us up a little bit. Looks like we are going last in the turn order, though, versus an Ancient Tomb and a Fell War start off of the Golos, so that may not be the best. Other than that, our hand actually does look a little slow, though. I would like to draw into something. Maybe just speed us up a teeny bit. A Dark Ritual wouldn't be the worst. Another creature to sacrifice would not be terrible. This is not a great first sacrifice target on the Delver right here. Unfortunately, I've stripped most of the card draw out of the deck, and we're going to be relying pretty heavily on Greven as the source of card draw. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah, you know. Here's a Deathrite Shaman. Could be trouble for our Phyrexian Delver. We do have some amount of removal in the deck, some interesting removal cards that tend to make us lose life so that we can draw additional cards with Greven. There's a Rite of Consumption, not helpful yet, but, you know, at some point it might be. We'll play the Path of Ancestry since it comes in tapped, and if we get our commander in at any point, or any creature that is a human or warrior, we will get to Scry. So I did tell opponents to bring strong decks today. This one, like I said, it can kill people pretty quickly. Having seen Greven once or twice already, it just gets huge quickly, and absurd amounts of commander damage start to pile up very fast. So take a look at what our opponents are playing. We do have a Golos player, Golos being piloted by Champion of Thune. And I feel like we've seen their Golos deck before, I can't remember, but Golos, a headache because it's hard to interact with. It's hard to interact with just lots of mana and casting things from your library. Not super easy to stop that. Your best bet is just to get in there quickly. Going late game with a Golos is like a surefire way to lose a game, so true to form, we probably will want to focus them first, I am thinking. Next up, we have Cadus piloting Kestia the Cultivator. I have not seen a lot of Kestia decks, honestly. I've seen a couple here and there. Whenever an enchanted creature or enchantment you control attacks, draw a card. It can draw a lot of cards. I have seen that happen in the past. So that is a thing. And then finally we have Banana piloting Tasigur the Golden Fang. I hope that's not fast combo. We don't have anything. Our deck is fast. It's not fast combo fast, I don't think. With the Mana Rocks, it might be if we get like Chrome Mox and all that stuff in here. But without it, maybe not so much. Anyway, we'll play the Bloodstained Mire, crack the Bloodstained Mire. We'll get a Badlands and play the Thought Vessel. And we'll pass like that. Turn 3, here comes Golos. Yup. That is a lot of mana ramp. Gonna get themselves another land. Hopefully it's not a workshop. More so, I'd guess, a lot of times you tend to go for like Urborg and Cabal Coffers and do that kind of thing. Gets you a bunch of extra mana. Yep, going for the Cabal Coffers. No Urborg in play yet. We do have Strip Mine in hand, but it's going to be a while before we can actually use that because we just need to get lands into play, so... Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Walking Atlas might be good for this deck because we plan to draw a lot of cards with this deck. So Walking Atlas gives us the ability to get lands in from our play much quicker, and if you have a ton of cards in hand, could be fairly reasonable. Sylvan Library came down last turn for our opponent, and they'll get a trigger on their upkeep this turn. Here comes some boots for opponent, yep. Deathrite Shaman going to do some exiling and make each opponent lose 2 life. Exiles the Serum Visions from their own graveyard. Suppose we could have not used the fetch last turn and not given them an extra mana right here. Whoops. Here comes a Lignify from opponent onto the Golos. So Golos no longer has any abilities. Dodging that bullet right there. Should give us some time to get going in this game. And there's a Soul Ring, so we're going to be getting our commander this turn. Let us play a Mountain, play the Soul Ring, play Greven. We will get a Scry. Don't really want more lands, but Reliquary Tower is so good. Oh, we have Thought Vessel already. Okay, so we can put Reliquary Tower to the bottom. And just hope that our Thought Vessel doesn't get blown up. I did want to get Library of the Lang in here also, but I did not for deck slot reasons, and that is one to think about in the future. No haste, sadly, so we're just going to have to chill right here for the moment. Suppose we could have also saved the fetch land for Greven's first attack. For the time being, we do not have any creatures to sacrifice. Again, the Phyrexian Delver
would have to be for like no value, but it's a thing that we may have to do if we don't catch something off the top. So the thing with Golos decks that I've noticed so far is that they don't tend to be very interactive. For the most part, it really is just like ramp as hard as you can and then try to get to big stuff. Which means that if you lignify a Golos, if you play a Curse Totem or something like that, they don't have many answers for things. Like, their plan is really just to get to the big stuff, and if you can stop them from getting to the big stuff, that's the one way you can really kind of get in there and beat them. But if you don't have some sort of interaction with it, it is just an extremely difficult deck to race. Cards like Sakura Tribe Scout are just absurd and really do a lot of work in lands decks that have like 40 or more lands in them. I would actually really like to see one of these in colorless or in some other colors beside green. And I know it's not on flavor, but I've been thinking a lot about like different types of ramp lately and like what makes things competitive versus not. If you put one of these in colorless, that means that every deck would have access to a 1-drop that could drop lands into play, which would be really, really helpful when you start talking about fast combo metas and stuff like that. It would allow some of the other colors to catch up to what green does, because the problem when you use a card like this is that they're putting lands into the battlefield and most people don't attack mana bases as much as they should, especially when you get to like competitive type stuff. Or really fast combo type metas. So once the land's in play, like, nothing's probably going to happen to it, not in the same way that mana rocks get blown up and other things get blown up. So, or, you get like a one-shot use out of a Dark Ritual or something like that. So, the fact that like no one touches mana bases makes these cards really, really powerful. If all you do is just cough lands into play, then it is a powerful, powerful effect. And with that Kestia coming into play, yep, it's a 4/4. Unfortunately, Golos can block, and they would get their commander back, so that's not a thing that we want to happen. Might think about swinging into the Tasigur. I would be not so happy if they leave a bunch of mana open when we go to combat. Yep, that's exactly what I was afraid of. Opponent passing with all their mana open. makes me scared. We draw a land. That's a land that we can sacrifice. I think we're going to have to play that Delver for no value, though. I think that's the thing that we're going to be doing. Oh, but if opponent shoots our Greven, that's so bad. It is really, really bad. I know what we'll do. We're going to swing into the Tasigur and we'll do a little removal check. See if they have anything. Because even if they shoot it right here, we can still just recast it. We get in for 5. Okay. Think we're just sitting tight. Makes me not like super happy to not do anything this turn. Maybe Rise of the Dark Realms is too big, but it's not the card you want in your opening hand, that's for sure. But if you get really late into a game, the game goes longer than you intend it to. It's a nice little card to go to that can just win you the game if no one has an answer. So here comes a Farseek for the Golos. Yep. They still just have a lot of mana, and like they're probably not that far away. Maybe one, 2 turns at most from just casting something big, assuming they have it in hand. Opponent's going to activate the Sakura Tribe Scout and get themselves a land. Didn't look like they grabbed a land. I think the number of cards in their hand stayed the same. Oh, yep, they said misclicked it. All right. Let me get an extra turn on all of this. Sylvan Library trigger for Kestia. Yep. Opponent's going to equip some boots to the Kestia. Yep. Put a Bear Umbra on it. That is a good one. Hits a 6/6 with haste and hexproof. When it attacks, it'll untap all lands. Opponent going to swing our way. Yep. And they will untap all lands they control and draw a card. That's a lot of value. So we go down to 31 and 6 commander. Opponent lays down a privileged position. It is going to be really difficult to blow up their stuff. There's only a couple cards in our deck that'll deal with the creatures, and even then there's still a Bear Umbra in there, so just attacking past them for lethal is going to be our best bet. Interestingly, Tasigur didn't use their mana at all last turn, neither did we, but, from a Sultai deck, you're kind of expecting that they're holding up interaction for something, and that didn't happen at all. Opponent plays a tap land. Looks like they're on the super slow plan, too. That's a Chandra's Ignition. That's a card. Let's play a Swamp. How much mana do we have? We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wouldn't be able to play the Delver and the Chandra's Ignition. Ignition would kill Golos, which is bad. Wouldn't kill the Kestia, which is also not good. So I don't think we're on Chandra's Ignition this turn. I think we're on Phyrexian Delver. And we'll crack the Marsh Flats. Hope we don't get crushed by interaction from any of our opponents. We'll get a Blood Crypt untapped. Play the Phyrexian Delver. Greven's got 8 power. That's pretty cool. Oh, we could have done the Chandra's Ignition. Well, that's still got the Bear Umbra on it, so that's not, like, the most helpful. This deck might need, like, Price of Glory or similar type of thing so that people are incentivized not to cast stuff during our turn. So Greven's going to attack, We'll get the sacrifice trigger. Sacrifice Phyrexian Delver. Get to look at some extra cards. There's a Mana Crypt, a land, and some Trailblazer boots. Nykthos may not be the best for this deck. I copied this mana base over, and that might be one worth taking out. Interestingly, with the Mana Crypt, we do have enough for the Chandra's Ignition. So from Kestia, we have to be careful, because if they go like Double Strike and some other Anthem effect, then we just die. Which might be one reason to play the Chandra's Ignition. It'll at least get rid of the Bear Umbra, and they won't have absurd amounts of mana. I don't really want to give opponent Golos back, especially with them. Oh, they got a Mirari's Wake in last turn. Yeah, giving opponent Golos back with Mirari's Wake seems really bad. So, Mana Crypt into play. We'll play the Trailblazer's Boots right here. I was thinking about holding them back just so opponents couldn't see it. But I don't think it matters that much. I think we're already in a place where if someone has a board wipe, they're probably going to use it. I don't think it's going to change anyone's decision-making all that much. Cultivate for our opponent. Still just on the rampant plan. Crop rotation for our opponent. More lands. So, one card in hand. I think it's a land? There's the forest, there's the swamp. I think the one card in their hand is a land, based on the Tribe Scout missed trigger last turn. So, talking with the opponent real quick, said we should probably change directions. Us just beating each other back and forth and not showing any attention to the other two opponents is a good way for both of us to lose the game. So, might as well stir it up and try to get everyone else in on the fun as well. Ooh, opponent goes down to 18 on the Sylvan Library triggers. Oh, they're getting in range. We just need a big creature to sacrifice. Big creature plus Chandra's plus Rite of Consumption. It's going to be some dead players. Shielded by Faith. Enchanted creature is indestructible. Yep, that's a good one. It's not Double Strike, though. Wheel of Sun and Moon. This is a very interesting card. Enchant player. If a card would be put into enchanted player's graveyard from anywhere, instead the card is revealed and put on the bottom of that player's library. So effectively, Tasigur can no longer have a graveyard. And that should be a real headache for him. Opponent going to swing into the Tasigur opponent, untap all their lands, and draw a card. So Tasigur takes a hit for 6, goes to 6 commander damage, 29 life. Fellwar Stone. Here comes Oasis Ritualist. Can add mana or can add 2 mana if it exerts. I'm thinking that maybe this deck needs just a couple more creatures to it. Maybe we've just drawn awkwardly, but probably an extra couple creatures in the deck might be a good idea. Maybe I went a little bit too low on the creature count is a thing that I am noticing. Crop rotation for our opponent, sure. Opponent's going to activate Makokoro. I am down for that because we need something else to look at. We need another creature to really kind of sustain ourselves. Great Merchant of Asphodel is a creature. Maybe not the best for card draw, but the life gain is extremely useful. Here's a Mana Crypt flip on us. Actually wouldn't mind losing this flip. Let's go tails. On the flip, sad face. Should have went heads. We draw Lightning Skelemental. Sweet. Who's getting the Lightning Skelemental? I guess it's going to get sacrificed anyway. Let's play the Shrine to Nykthos. Shrine to Nyx. This is an Elemental Skeleton, Human Warrior. Not going to get any Path of Ancestry triggers off that. Play the Lightning Skelemental. That's a funny name. Funny name for a card. Sort of the equivalent of Blightning. Funny card from back in the day, if anyone remembers that one. That thing. It was weird because it was such a divisive card when it came out. Some people were like, Blightning is good. Other people were like, Blightning is terrible. If you got Blightning twice in a game, you probably couldn't win. You've now discarded 4 cards, and usually it was coming off of the hands of a Cascade trigger from a Bloodbraid Elf. So, opponent was just very far ahead of you on value. Let's do some attacking. Send the Lightning Skelemental over to Tasigur and the Greven to Golos. We'll get the Sacrifice trigger. I think we're about to see some interaction. Opponent's going to Anguished Unmaking. Ooh, on our boots. On our boots, you say. That means they'll be able to get their commander back. Okay. We're going to sacrifice the Lightning Skelemental. We draw a bunch of things. Anything we can do at instant speed? Nope. Opponent double blocks because of Menace. Opponent's going to flash down a land. I knew it. Ooh, I think opponent's going to activate this Vault of the Archangel. Yep, they're going to give their creatures lifelink and death touch until end of turn. I'm going to send Greven to the graveyard, actually. I don't know why the Tribe Scout didn't die. Did Lignify go away somehow or something? Oh, 04. Oh, I could have did that better, I think. I thought they were both going to die. I don't know what just happened. Something happened. Maybe we should just went back to the command zone. Crap. We do need a... we could use a way to get some haste. Do not seem to have that currently. I think we're on this Rise of the Dark Realms, though. Yeah. I should have just went to the command zone and recast it from there. That would have made more sense. Maybe we... let's just play Grey Merchant. So, good plays from our opponent right there, just kind of throwing us off our game. Grey Merchant will come in. We have a choice right here between Worn Power Stone and Lupine Prototype. I think I'm going to go for the Power Stone, and we'll pass the turn like that. Golos is probably good for like 1 activation right here, I would think, because they're going to need to spend 7 to get their commander back in. And they might have 2 activations. They might have 2. Here comes Golos. So, opponent can activate Golos. Yeah, they're definitely going to have a second Golos in there. They get Dovin's Veto. Bajuka Bog is super relevant. All right, our commander's going back to the command zone. There are worse things. There are worse things. It's not the worst. And opponent hits a Farseek and a land, so that's okay. And I think they're going to activate Golos one more time here. Yep. Hopefully they miss on this one too. It's a Narset. Okay. Narset is particularly bad for us. Here comes a Yavimaya Enchantress for our opponent. Yup. That thing's going to get pretty big. It's a 10-10. Does move the Shielded by Faith over to the Yavimaya Enchantress. And there's an Enchanted Evening. Uh-oh. Opponent doesn't seem to have any evasion yet, which is good. Because Yavimaya will be big enough to probably take out a player. Doesn't look like they have the... No, they have 1 mana they can move the boots over. Okay. Yep, it's a 58-58. Don't get hit by it. Probably going to have to try and take down the Kestia. We don't really have answers for an indestructible 58-58. Here come the boots onto it. Yep. Opponent flashed down a Vesuva. Okay. Narset will turn off the ability on Kestia. It does shut off our own commander's ability as well, though. Not amazing. Here comes a Hero's Downfall on the Golos. Okay. So opponent going to try to funnel this Yavimaya Enchantress over to the Golos. Would not be sad to see that happen. Opponent going to send Kestia our way and the Enchantress over to Golos. Going to untap their lands, and there's 2 draw triggers here, but those will fizzle. Can't decide if it's worth blocking the 6/6 or not. I feel like I just want the creature around. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take it. I don't know. I mean, like if they get double strike next turn and trample, it's a real big problem, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want the creature right now. So Golos going down to combat damage. They are at -32. Here comes an Eidolon of Countless Battles. Relevant because it's a blocker. Was just going to try to chip in there with the Grey Merchant for a moment. And here comes Estrad's Invocation. Ugh. That one's pretty good. Going to get themselves another privilege position. See what Tasigur's got. They've been sitting on a lot of nothing all game. Another tap land. Too many tap lands in that deck. Crawl Space. Crawl Space doesn't save them. Just the Enchantress could kill them, assuming any sort of evasion. It's going to bring it back to our turn. Mana Crypt flip on us. Mixed feelings about winning or losing the flip right here. Let's go heads. Won the flip. Toxic Deluge. Huh. So if we probably don't have... I don't know if we have enough mana for this, but let's assume we went like Deluge, Greven, Chandra's Ignition. Is that enough to kill a player? Perhaps 2? We have 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana when we play a card from our hand. It'll be 7 to get our commander in, 10 for the Toxic Deluge. Oh, we'll be 1 short. We could do Rite of Consumption and just kind of go 1 versus 1 against the Tasigur. That's probably what we should do. So, unless, how much life can we lose? We won the flip. We already got our Pain Land right there. So we'd only lose 1 on the Arid Mesa. Meh. Yeah, Deluge is still our best bet. We can sink a lot of life into Deluge. Greven coming in a 5/5. We would need to go X11 on the Toxic Deluge. I think that's what we're doing. Play the High Market, sacrifice the Grey Merchant, gain 1 life. Play Toxic Deluge. I'm going to go X12 just in case opponent has any like last second life gain. Opponent's going to Makokoro. Okay. Ooh, it's a Devour in Shadow. I don't think that matters actually at this moment. We go down to 12. Cast our commander, get a Scry. Dark Ritual. We could probably find something to do with the Dark Ritual. We'll keep it right there. And Rite of Consumption on the Kestia opponent. Sacrifice Greven. Opponent goes down to the Rite of Consumption. Nice. And we'll pass like that. We're going to get ourselves into a 1 versus 1 with the Tasigur opponent. We do go up to 29, gaining a bunch of life back on the Rite of Consumption. Greven's back in the graveyard by accident. Didn't mean to do that, but we got a Grey Merchant in there, so, you know. We also have Balthor. Maybe we just pull it out with Balthor. There's a Nezelhal. Okay. Opponent has exactly 3 cards in hand, which is enough to do the exile thing against Devour in Shadow, which I think would fizzle the life loss. Brings back to our turn. Mana Crypt flip. Let's go heads. Finally losing a flip when we don't need to. There's a Dark Ritual. Play a Strip Mine. Let's get Balthor in. Let's get the Prototype in. And I think we pass like that. At the end step, we'll high market, sacrifice the Lupine prototype, and then, oh, nope. Balthor does not bring back Lupine prototype. Okay, so don't sacrifice that, but we'll still exile Balthor and do the thing. Here comes a Soul Ring. Opponent no longer has... if we play a spell, though, then they'll be able to do the Nezzle Hall thing. Opponent coming in with Nezzle Hall. We will block with Balthor. Use Balthor's ability. We got to make triple black. Or do we not have triple black? We do not have triple black. We can probably filter some mana through this Nykthos. Make some black with Nykthos. Then use Balthor's ability. We get back Greven and Grey Merchant. So we go back up to 29. Oh, that's a Torment of Hailfire X8. Oh my. 8 times 3 is 24. We could just take it all. But we wouldn't want to. So, sacrifice Grey Merchant. Discard a Swamp. Lose 3 life. That's 2. Lose 3 life. Feel okay without Dark Ritual. We'll go down Worn Power Stone, I guess. And then we'll just pay a little bit more life. So, down to 17. And opponent's in a bad spot here. Greven's got 17 power on it. Nothing we can do with that at instant speed, sadly. That'll bring it back to our turn. Mana Crypt Flip on us. And this should do it. Opponent's tapped out. 1 card in hand. We can use this Devour in Shadow. Let's go Tails right here. We won the flip. Can't seem to catch the break on the Mana Crypt flips. Play the Arid Mesa. Crack the Arid Mesa. Let's get just a mountain. Devour in Shadow on the Nezzle Hall. Opponent will get to draw a card. We have 13 power. Still can't attack with the Lupine prototype. But we will go to combat with Greven. Swing in. Get the trigger. Sacrifice Lupine prototype. Got to be careful with that. Our life's getting low. We are down to 4. And opponent dies to commander damage. 23 commander damage. And taking down the game. Kind of a weird game right there. A bunch of powerful commanders, but everyone kind of got stuck. Nothing came on quite as strong and as fast as I thought it would. With the Enchantress play right there, it kind of comes down to, where opponent fires that hero's downfall is where the Enchantress goes, and that's the player that loses. Thankfully, it wasn't us. That was nice. But taking a look at the deck, 14 creatures. I think this needs to come up just a little bit. I think I'm a little bit too creature light. We didn't have enough things to sacrifice, so maybe a few more is the right answer. Maybe another piece or two of fast mana is going to be a good idea as well. You really want to be quick with this deck. So all in all, it needs a little bit of balancing, and I don't know. It's Rise of the Dark Realms. Well, I guess you want it late game. We drew it early game, which is just not the time that you want it. That was unfortunate. But maybe another threaten effect or two. Just steal our opponent's creatures with Greven and then sacrifice them. Could be a fun little way to go with this as well. So yeah, all in all, I think the deck needs to be balanced just a little bit more. Not enough creatures. Maybe another piece of ramp just to make sure that we are very fast to the draw. Could use probably a few other things as well, I'm sure. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.